Hello, this is Stuart Roberts, founder of Haircuts for Homeless, and welcome to the Hear Me, See Me podcast. I'm going to be talking to people who are truly inspirational to me. Some you may have heard of, and some you haven't, but you really need to hear their story. Hello, this is Stuart from Hear Me, See Me podcast, and I've been really looking forward to this one. This guy blew me away when I saw his story. We were introduced by a friend of mine, Steve Kerridge, who's been on the podcast, and he sent me a video clip of some stuff that they're working on. They're actually working on a sort of film of it that is such a fascinating story. So I won't prattle on. Today I'm going to introduce you to Stephen Kelly. How are you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, not bad. I'm not bad. I've just seen my daughter today in the contact centre. To see her once a week on a Wednesday, which I look forward to. I don't know how long that's going to go on for. So, dealing with social services, and you're a man with a criminal record like mine is hard work. Yeah,
I don't doubt it. I'm sure. I don't suppose they make it easy for you at all.
But actually impossible. If someone would have told me before that a man could be in this position because of his past, I would have said, you're lying. I would have said, you must be on drugs or a paedophile or something, you know. But I'm just getting judged for who I used to be. Yeah.
To be honest, I get that, not to the same extent, and I haven't got dealings with the social services, although I've had close friends who have, and it's been horrendous for them. But I still do, you know, I'm 16 years sober and I'll get judged all the time. You know, and you think, how long has it got to be?
Yeah.
I mean, 16 years, give me a fucking break. Like, But
I was clean on the 23rd of March, 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want from me? I don't understand. What do you want from me? I feel like if I was on the smack or I was on the drugs, I'd be getting help.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm not. So, I'm where I work, I don't get nothing paid for.
No.
Everything's a waiting list, but everything's got to be done on a deadline.
Yeah.
It's actually so frustrating, you know. How I haven't relapsed is I take my hat off to myself, and I never take my hat off. Is a miracle, but I'm so focused on what I want out of life now. Yeah, I just deal with it in my head,
and that's the thing. And I 100% understand that. And I've had so much this year, and it's been hard. And even at my stage, at 16 years, some days it's been like I might as well be 16 days because I've struggled. Because it's when things get thrown at you. But let's tell everyone about what is your past. I mean, let's go back. You know, if you can start off telling me, you know, where you were brought up, you know, what childhood was like, and then go into that amazing story of yours.
Yeah, I was born in Rush Green in Romford, and my stepmom, I was brought up by my mum was with a fella. He was an horrible man. He used to treat us really bad, really bad. And I never had any concentration span. I really never. I couldn't absorb information. I couldn't. And you know, when I left school, I had no GCSEs. I was too lazy to dig holes. And I always wanted a life that my hands or my brain wouldn't let me have. And I've always been prepared. I always was prepared to do anything to get that life without putting in the hard work. And no matter what it was, I made that choice. You know, I've never had that normal feeling that people get from fear. You know, fear is just an emotion. If you blank that out, you're capable of anything. So I've always just done what I want to do when I want to do it, and not no more. You know, I've finally had enough of prison. I've realised that you actually only need food and water to be happy.
Yeah.
Really do. Bags are a bonus, but food and water is all you need. I mean, once you work that out, you then all of a sudden you ain't got to keep chasing all this money because you don't actually need it.
Yeah.
You really don't. I mean, how I ended up, the start of the story, I got involved with some people doing a big cannabis farm on a big level, and I was expecting a crazy day payout, and a week before the end, it all went wrong, and I never got paid. I was expecting the police to be looking for me, so I decided to go to Thailand, but I didn't have the money. So a friend of mine said to me he would pay me £20,000 if I took a kilo, I think it was 1 kilo and 9 ounces of cocaine to Thailand, and it's an horrendous feeling. You know, you have to wrap it in plastic, put it in a condom, syrup, eat it. There was meant to be 2 of us doing it, and thinking about it now, I just think my mate never had no bottle. Yeah. Every time he hit one, he kept throwing it up. But me, I just kept eating it. It was fine. I mean, I got to, I think, about 1 kilo inside me. And then no matter what happened, I just kept throwing. As I was eating one, I was throwing 3 back up.
All right.
So I still had something like 13 or 15 ounces to get over there. And so out come the baby oil, and it started going up me in back door. And I got to the airport, and you've still got to act normal. You've still got to have a drink. You've still got to ask for extra peanuts. You've still got to ask for extra food. I mean, like you would. You're getting on a 15-hour flight. You've got to act normal. But you're so heavy. It's the most horrendous feeling. And I got to Thailand, and I got off the plane, and I looked at my reflection in the mirror, and I thought, you look guilty. And I've never needed to go to the toilet so much in my life. And then I got to the queue for customs, and this particular day, it must have been a mile long. And I was sweating, and I could see my reflection. I thought, I'm cool. But I put my poker face on, and I got to the reception and walked through, and I'd done it. But I couldn't even wait to get back to the hotel where I was meant to meet the guy and get it out of my system. I went into the toilet in the airport and shit it out. Sorry.
It's all right. No, it's fine.
Shit it out.
I'll be swearing myself. Don't worry.
Yeah, I went to the toilet, and it absolutely stunk. I mean, I must have got out 90% of it on the first toilet. And I'm walking through the airport, and when I'm telling you it stunk, oh, mate, the smell of it was horrendous. And I've had to get in a cab, and it stunk. And then I got back to the hotel, and I sat in the hotel for another 2 days, and then as you eat, it slowly comes out. You'll get the majority of it out on your next toilet, and then you might get 1 or 2 of the last bits come out on the last 2 or 3 days later. Yeah. But once you've done it once, that's easy money, you know. That's easy money, and I like to live a certain lifestyle. And then I started taking stuff back. So I was leaving Thailand. I was going back to the UK, taking stuff with me. And then when I was coming back, I was taking it again, and I had everything, and I really had everything. I had money saved. By this time, I had my not my wife, but my life partner and the 2 children over there, and they was going to school, and we wasn't really. I don't really think we was in love, but because of the lifestyle, we tolerated each other, and the kids were happy, and we had a beautiful apartment. We'd go on holiday all the time, but I got sick of doing it. I got sick of doing it. That anxiety, that worry,
Yeah.
So we come up with a new idea that we had our friends sending us MDNA to addresses. So we was finding condominiums and then sending it to there. And then we'd track the parcel the whole way. As soon as it cleared customs, we'd get an estimated delivery time. And as the parcel would come with the EMS driver, a nice way of putting it, I suppose, was the EMS driver would be giving us the parcel whether we wanted to or not. I mean, we'd try and say to him, blag it, as our place, but if he never gave us what we wanted, we took it.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that now, playing gangster in Thailand is crazy. And one day we knew we had this address. We knew it was empty. We knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So I said to my mate, can you deal with this one? He said, yeah. And he went out brassing, whatever, and he never turned up for the drop. Now it was 3 kilo. That must have brought back 17, 18, between 70 and 100 grand. And, he missed the delivery. So now I had to make the decision whether to let this parcel go or now to walk into the main depot and get the parcel. And my mate was saying to me, let it go, let it go. I said, it's all right for you saying to let it go. I said, but you ain't the one who could do the runs, are you? I said, you can't keep it down. I said, that means I've got to do a run. I said, at least I know where this is. It's in the depot. I've just got to go in there, hold them up, whatever, and get it. And then the hard work is done. Like I said, I don't have fear like a normal person.
No.
But lucky enough, I went in there and I explained to the guy. By this time, my Thai was very good, and I'm talking to him, and he said to me, wait 10 minutes. And in the end, I thought, you know what, this ain't worth it. As I was about to walk out, he said, whatever name I made up. He called me back. He went, give me the parcel. I couldn't believe it. I thought, couldn't believe I didn't have to hold the shop up or.
Yeah.
I got that payday, I got that stuff, and life was so good. And my friend was in Koh Phangan, I was in Pattaya, and we had nearly every hostel in Koh Phangan buying it off of us. And every day I just woke up to money and just an unbelievable life. But I got bored. He kept sending me these pictures of him with all these young tarts and partying every night, and I just thought I wanted a bit of what you're doing. So my missus said, under no circumstances are you going now without me. But as per usual, I could always talk around. And I ended up more or less living now and leaving her in Pattaya.
Yeah.
How she don't hate me to this day is unbelievable. What I put her through. How she even tolerates me is a credit to what person she is.
Yeah.
And so I'm in Koh Phangan, and I was taking so much drugs. I wasn't sleeping for 7-10 days, sleeping for one night, staying up for another 7 nights, sleeping for one night. And life become that anything that was difficult or a challenge was the only way I got a buzz, would be out and there'd be a group of 10 lads, Lacoste tops, man bags, all up to no good. You can tell 100 miles away that they're the boys from the area, and I'd make them strip. My mate would say to me, get his clothes. I go, oh, fuck off, not them ones. Get give me an easy one. He'd go, get his clothes. And I'd be there and I'd go out in the worst clothes ever just for a laugh. And I'd make the geezer strip.
Yeah.
Take his clothes. And by the end, we used to have a competition to see how many times we could change outfits in a night.
Yeah.
And I always used to win. I was ruthless at it.
Yeah.
I always used to walk up to geezers and they'd be sitting there with their wife having a meal when I'd walk up and give him a kiss on the lips or gently run my hand up his thigh, or whisper in his ear, I love you, or just everything was just a game, a challenge. However I could get a buzz, is how I used to get a buzz. And I lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. There used to be police stop checks. And I used to put all stuff around my neck, like drugs, and I used to go through the barriers with no T-shirt on, no helmet on, and see if I could get through just for a laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, how I never got caught months before was beyond me, but I never. It was a night at a full moon party, and my missus, she'd gone back to England to see her dad and mum, and I was meant to pick her up from the airport. Then I said to her, I'm sorry, I'll pick you up from Koh Samui. Then finally, once she got to Koh Samui, I said, I'll pick you up where the boat lands at Koh Phangan. I didn't even bother to do that. Then she ended up just coming to the hotel where I was. I had slept about 7 days by that time. And it was a night at a full moon party, and we probably made 15 grand that day, 20 grand that day.
Yeah.
And we took the kids to the full moon party, and it probably was one of the best nights of my life. It really was. Thinking about it now, how I never lost the kids. I know it's not possible, but with enough sleep deprivation and enough drugs, I used to be able to blink and wake up where I wanted to be. I developed a superpower. I could blink and then be where I wanted to be. And obviously I did get a cab there, or I did whatever, but I don't know how I did it. But I used to be able to do what I wanted to do. It was like I was invincible.
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, the full moon party, my missus, it's 3 o'clock now, come on, let's go home. Got back to the place. I mean, I don't even think we had a dirty night. I think I was so shattered.
Yeah.
I remember we didn't even have a roll around.
Yeah.
And I got in bed, and my mate, my partner, he rang me up. He said to me, the guy was called Farouk. He said, Farouk wants X amount. I said, you're having a laugh at me. I said, don't we earn enough money today? He went, listen, he went, I'll do everything. He went, just do it. He went, you know where it is? It was buried at the end of the lane, underneath a bungalow, underneath a tree. I went to never in a million years, mate. He went, just do it. He went, please. He went, otherwise I've got to get out of bed. I've got to do it. I went, for fuck's sake. I said, all right, go on. So I got out of bed. I went down to the beach. I'm digging it up. I got what he told me to get. I come back. Now, a motorbike's come down with this Farouk and this. He looked like a Jew. He looked like a Jew. And he jumps off the bike. And I thought, what's jumping off the bike for, a bit lively? But I was so at me nut. I just wanted to get it done. And I think it was 10 grand he wanted. He paid me the money for the thing. He went, no, I wanted 20. I went, oh, for fuck's sake. I would go down to the beach, and I'll just do it by eye. You know, it didn't really matter the money. I just wanted him gone. So I left it underneath the bungalow. I went in there. I've done it by eye. And then put it back underneath the bungalow. Now, as I walked out my bungalow and started walking down to the beach, I've looked to the left and I've seen this car driving down, and I thought, I've been staying here 3 months and I've never seen a car pull down here ever. And why is the car pull? And I remember thinking it. I remember thinking it was strange, but like I said, I was so happy now. I just wanted to get the deal done. I've walked down to the beach. As I walked down to the beach, I've looked to the right and I've seen 2 guys there. I've looked to the left and I've seen 4 guys there. And all of a sudden the guns have come out. And they're shouting out inside, freeze, whatever. And I've just got the stuff and I threw it in the sea. And this is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. He's stuck. The guy, he actually beat himself. When I'm telling you beat himself, he beat himself like he hated his worst enemy, and he was going to me, get off me, get off me. He kept hitting himself and punching himself and smashing himself in the nose. And I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm even touching you. He was going, get off me. And because they're not allowed to hit you. We're protected by the embassy. So he had to make out that I'd beat him up so they could beat me up.
Right.
And I just was laughing my head off. And they're all punching me head in, they're all kicking me head in. And I still couldn't get over the fact that I just watched someone beat themselves up. And I just kept laughing. And he was like, you think this is funny? You think this is funny? I just said, you're crazy. And he was saying to me, where's the drugs? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Where's the drugs? And now, okay, you think you're clever. You think you're clever. So they went back to my bungalow. They've got my wife out of bed, put her in chains, handcuffs, and said, you don't tell us where the drug is, your wife go to prison. She's screaming, Steve, Steve, Steve. And I'm thinking, really? Have I really got to tell them where this is? They put her in the back of the van. Luckily enough, to this day, I prayed that the kids didn't wake up and they didn't see none of it. And I just said, all right, it's under the bungalow. So I went and got it under the bungalow. We'll give it to them. And they let her go. Luckily enough, the lady in the hotel really liked me. She explained that she just got here that night on the boat. There's no possible way she could have known anything about it. And because I signed there and then on the spot to say it was mine, I went guilty at first. That's how it works. I went guilty. Basically just signed my life away, so they let her go. And now this Farouk thought he was going to get the go. They told him if he grasped me up, he could go free. Now, they've made him come with me as well. And I can remember seeing the look on his face, and he was so gutted. And they took us to this police station, and this outdoor cell left us in there for about a day. And they're trying to blackmail. They're talking to each other how much so he can buy his way out. And they're all talking 15 million bar at the time. That was about 300 grand. And I sat there and I just listened. And they really thought I had 300 grand. They really thought I had 300 grand. After about 3 days, I just said to him in Thai, I said, Kontai, my Mr. Mong, Kum Kidwa, Kummi, Sibhalamba, Kum Kaya, Yuta had to make. Basically saying, do you think if I had 300 grand, I'll be selling drugs on the beach? And they were so angry at the fact that I'd been listening to them for 3 days and making out that, can I have water, you know, acting stupid. They were so frustrated. Okay, you bake up, you go to prison, whatever. Got back to this cell, and now this Farouk, he's praying to Allah, Amasalad, or whatever he was saying. And he's got a bit of glass, and he was about to kill himself. And I thought, you know what? He ain't going up to whatever God he believes in and leaving me to deal with this. I whistled for the guard. I said, listen, he's going to kill himself. They come in, they took his glass off of him. Stayed there for another day. My missus come and see me. I just said, I'm so sorry. She's like, what am I going to do? I said, babe, listen, just go on, move on with your life. it's over for me, you know. I just said, I'm sorry. I'd come to terms with it that was me gone for good.
Yeah.
And the next morning, they put me on a boat over to Koh Samui, got to the prison. And I remember pulling up, and it was so nice. It was so nice. It was well painted. And there was kittens outside. There was puppies. And I remember thinking, this is good. This is good. This is. I thought, this is all right. All of a sudden, I got to this black gate. They opened up this black gate, and I just couldn't believe a place existed like it in life. I couldn't believe it. And separating from the walkway where you get searched, there was like a metal cage. They're all wearing balaclavas. All you can see is their eyes. They're all covered in tattoos. They're all shaking the cage, shaking the cage, shaking the cage. Falang, falang, falang. And I remember feeling, fuck me. You like to feel fear. I definitely felt it then. And two guys from Iraq, they went, don't worry about these. They went, we got you. And I remember thinking, so happy to see like not a tight face, you know, not a tight face. I remember feeling so happy. And I walked out. Now Farouk's gone left and I've gone right. But why am I going right? Well, and they're all saying, Bahanti vid. It means the death penalty. They've took me up to the cell. Now there was a geezer guy in the room. David, his name was. He was from Hungary. He was a serial killer. They found two bodies in his walls. I think they found 3 underneath his bungalow. They found 1 in his boat. He was crazy. And then there was these other couple of guys in there who were hitmen for the mafia. There was another guy who got caught with a serious amount of drugs. And I said, what now? They just said, nothing. You wait 88 days. I said, what about the phone? No phone. What about a letter? Yeah, 1 letter, 1 month, 15 lines. Now, if you write a letter in Thailand, 15 lines, 1 letter is 1 word. You can write half a book with 15 lines. You try and write a 15-line letter in English, you just about put your address on it. Especially me not even knowing how to do joined-up writing.
Yeah.
And so there was like 8 of us in this room. And I remember thinking this is going to be it, 8 of us in this room. I mean, the room was 3.2 metres by 3 metres. And 4:30, the songs come on for the King. And all the people just started coming up. And I remember thinking, where are these people going to go? And if you can imagine, 3.2 metres by 3 metres and minimum 48 in that room. If it was if there was 50 in there, you could squeeze in. If there was 52 in there, you wouldn't think 2 people would make that much of a difference. If it was 52 in there, it was painful. I mean, at the time, I was fat. I constantly had to sit like a tyre. My knees was killing. And where do I go now? And it wasn't that I was being mugged off. You have to start. You start in the toilet, and then you go from the toilet to the walkway.
Yeah.
You finally get a spot. Then you go to they've made like a platform thing. And then you finally work your way to a hammock.
Yeah.
And there's 50 in the room, and every 2 minutes someone's getting up for a toilet, and you're going to have to keep getting up. And oh, mate, it was torture. It was torture. And then finally everyone would wake up at 7:30 in the morning, everyone would go to work, and then I'd managed to get some sleep in the daytime because there was only then 8 of us in the room. but they count you 8 times a day. So as fast as you fell asleep, you had to be up again being counted. Nung, song, sam, si, ha, hook, dip, bed, up to like 1,600 people. And then by the time you get done 2 hours later, you had to be counted again. And I was just exhausted. I was so exhausted. And I mean, this particular room I was in, I think 30 of them had HIV, 12 of them had TB, but they treat you like you've got a disease because you've got white skin, you know. It's mad being white and experiencing racism, you know.
Yeah.
But I actually experienced it. And it was just awful. It really was awful. And no one liked me. And I said to this guy, Jan, I mean, I wish one day there was something I could do for him. I got told he got 50 years. But I said to him, what can I do? I said, this is beating me. I said, I can't do this. He said to me, we love our king. He said, learn the song for the king. So I said, will you teach me? So he started learning me the words for the King's song. At some point, I'll sing it for you. I probably can still remember it.
Yeah.
And after about 3 or 4 days, I learnt the words for the King's song. And everyone was so, wow. You know, what big respect I've learnt this song. And now all of a sudden, I'm not gay by any means. I really am not gay. Yeah. But you're so far away from home.
Yeah.
And Thais, they're so cuddly. They've got no problem with putting their leg over and spooning each other or rubbing each other's ears or that. It's not even a gay thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the way they are. And finally, after about a week, I started to get a cuddle and a stroke, you know, and it was nice. It really was nice. Like I said, not in a gay way whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I got accepted as one of them. You know, I could speak Thai. By then, they realised that I wasn't over there abusing their women. I had my own wife. My children was there, and it started to become easy. I say easy, but it was all right. And then I was expecting this was probably one of the lowest days I've ever had in my life. I was expecting a visit from my partner. I think it was a Wednesday. And I went out to the visit, and there's a lady sitting there. She was from the Facebook support group for prisoners banged up abroad. And she said she's gone home. So what do you mean she's gone home? She went, she's too scared that the police are going to come back for her. She's gone home. I didn't even have my canteen set up by then. I didn't have no money. Didn't have no clothes. I just went back to the cell and I thought, I'm going to kill myself. I thought, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't do this. But it's amazing what a person can deal with when you have to, you know?
Yeah.
I thought. So I started planning my escape. I thought, there's no way they're holding me in here. I thought, there's no way I'm spending the rest of my life in here. So, it was like, so I got used to that, being in the room. Only time I was allowed out the room was for like 10 minutes once a week to go down to the shop. And life was so frustrating. I was so angry. And I just kept playing up. Playing up. They took away my visits, which didn't really matter because no one would visit me anyway. They took away my shop. They took away my letters. And I thought there was nothing more they can do to me. They're not allowed to hit foreigners. They're not allowed to.
Right.
That is not your problem. They're not allowed to hit you. You're too protected by the embassy. Thinking about it now, you know, they could have probably paid someone, an inmate, to do you.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
It didn't enter my head. It didn't enter my head. And I was sitting my room was the room for people with death row. So my room was the only room with a camera in it. And I sat there one day and I thought, you know what? I lit up a fag. Now, you're not allowed to smoke in the room. And I sat there blowing smoke at the camera. And I thought there was nothing else they could do to me. All of a sudden, I've heard the keys rattle. His food captain. He hadn't left the prison in 14 years because everyone outside the prison would have killed him. He didn't care about the mafia. He didn't care about no one. He was a proper job's worth. He's come up, dragged me out, put these great big heavy chains on me, and then chained me to a ladder. He chained me to a ladder for 3 weeks. All I had was one link like that, then big heavy chains between my legs for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And if I had to have a toilet, the boys had to pass me a bucket.
Right.
That was actually torture. That was.
Was you upright against a ladder?
Standing upright, yeah. So I had to stand up for 3 weeks. I could lay down if someone would give me their spot.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen often. I just had to stand up for 3 weeks, and they welded the chains on as well, and they didn't have any protective gear. I think you can see the scar there. It looks like
it
was like a bullet hole or something, and it was infected. I had gangrene in my leg. It was so sore. It was so sore. And I just kept battling on and finally waiting until the date that I had to go to court. And about a week or 2 weeks before, the mafia guy, he really liked me. He said to me, a paedophile come to the prison. He said to me, if you do the paedophile, he said, I'll get you out of jail. He said, it's going to cost you. It worked out 90,000. I said, I haven't got 90,000. I think I had 56,000 saved.
Right.
And I said to my mum, and she went, are you crazy? They're just going to rob your money. I went, well, listen, I said, what good is 56 grand if you ain't getting out, if you're dying in prison? You know, I might as well risk it.
Yeah.
So he said to me, if I kill the paedophile, he'll get me out. And but he said to me, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, 45 grand of it's for me. He said, the other 45 grand is for the judge. He said, you can pay me when you get out. Don't think you're going to go back to England and avoid me. I've got family in Lincolnshire. I've got family in London. You'll go missing wherever you go. I went, you get me out of here, and I said, I'll make sure I pay you. So I paid him the 56 grand. And but now I've got to kill this 22-stone Japanese person, which would have been probably quite easy if I didn't have quite big heavy chains on. But I was the only one who could get to him, because once a month on a Wednesday we had a visit by the embassy. So he was Japanese, so we got his visit by the embassy, and I got mine on the same day. So that was the only chance that anyone could get to this paedophile. Now, luckily enough, his cell was the one before mine. So they've let him out first, then they've opened up my door. As soon as he's got to the top stairs, I'd like to tell you a story that he put up a fight and I did this, I did that. I just pushed him down the stairs. Luckily enough, by the time he hit the bottom step, he was already knocked out. And I just, 80 days of anger and frustration, and I just stamped and I stamped and I stamped. And I just kept stamping and screaming and stamping and stamping, and his head exploded like a watermelon. His eyes popped out his head.
Yeah.
And you have to be dead to get out of leaving that prison. And he got took out of the prison. He did come back. He did. He come back about 3 months later. Brain damage and all that.
Well, he weren't dead?
He weren't dead, no. He did come back. He did come back to the jail. He did come back to the jail, but he was I think he was a cabbage or whatever. Yeah. And I went to the court. And they said to me, you're free to go. What I got caught with was under the amount to keep me in the prison of the 88 days I've done. The man kept his words. I come back to the prison and I'm shouting out, grab on, I'm going home. Now this food captain, the one who chained me to the ladder, I'm calling his mum a buffalo, and that's the worst insult ever.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, badly.
It's complimenting Essex.
Yeah. I'm calling his mum a buffalo and man, fucking mother. And I called him everything.
Yeah.
And I covered myself in baby oil, took my clothes off, and just run around the prison naked. The whole prison is just screaming, laughing. All the guards are trying to grab me, but they're slipping off me because I've got baby oil on. And I was free to go. Thought I was free to go. But where I got caught with 2 different drugs, they only handed in one of the drugs because that was enough to give me the death penalty. So once I got to the court, they didn't come and rearrested me for the other drug. So then I had to go back to the prison after cutting all the screws off. And now
this is a nervous laugh, by the way. I'm not. It's just a nervous laugh.
I'll give away all my cigarettes. I'll give away all my clothes. I'll give away everything. I've slagged everyone off. Now I have to walk back to the jail, and I can remember thinking, "Oh my God!" Now they've put me into a room with everyone serving over a 15-year sentence, so no one would sell me their spot. So I was back in the toilet again. And throughout this period of time, I've been in about 10 different rooms. And there was a geezer who I was banged up with from Canada. He said to me, Steve, I've been in there 9 rooms, mate. 9 years, mate. He said, I've only been in 1 room. He went, there's 12 rooms in this jail. You've been in nine rooms. You've only been in here 6 months. But behave yourself. It's not like England. The louder you shout, someone will eventually hear you. The more you shout over there, the deeper it gets.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't let them beat me, you know. I just used to sing at the top of my voice. I just used to wind them up. And they put me in this room, and then that was back to being tortured again. You know, I was back in the toilet, and everyone was so pissed off because they were serving at least a 15-year sentence. So it was a real angry room.
Yeah. And
this particular room leader, he used to make everyone masturbate on a Friday. That was his room rule, that everyone had to masturbate on a Friday. Now, you try and do your low while there's 50 geezers watching you. But what happens is, where you're all banged up and you're all in the same room, everyone's having wet dreams. Right. No joke. Everyone is having wet dreams. So,
right.
And where you're all spooning each other and laying over each other, every night someone's having a wet dream and he's going up the next geezer's back, and then it's all kicking off because it's spunked over his back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So This room leader used to make everyone masturbate on a Friday. That was embarrassing, you know, but I got used to that. Gallons of it, I reckon, went down that toilet once on Friday. But I got used to doing that. That was all right in the end.
Yeah.
And but then by this time, I was allowed out of the room. I was allowed out now, so I wasn't banged up all day long. And so I'd get out at 7:30 in the morning. At 4:30, you go back to the room, and that's when I called it her or him, whatever you want to say. It was like the love of my life, really.
Yeah.
It was a lady boy. I say a lady boy. If he would have put an hard hat on, he could have walked straight on sight. He was one ugly bastard, he was. I used to call him Simon for a laugh. I mean, you couldn't even pass him for a lady boy. He was just a geezer, really. But
yeah,
he used to cuddle me and massage me, and I never had sex with him or nothing.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't cuddling him, I had the hump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose I loved him, really. Just that affection, you know. He was so, he or she, whatever you want to call him. But I made a deal with him. I said, I won't keep calling you Simon because it was hurting his feelings. So I started calling her Sandra. All right. If he never had another 2 years, I got out. I probably would have waited for him, if I'm being fair. Yeah. He was something special to me in my life. He kept me going, and so I had my Sandra, I had my cuddles. Then I modified. They all modify their cocks. They make them into like octopuses, so they all cut with a Stanley blade. So when your cock goes in, it opens up like an octopus, or they put marbles in there inside the skin, so it's like your penis becomes like a vibrator. And so you've got all like glass. The captains drink whiskey in the prison.
Right.
And so I said, yeah, I want it done. And the day it was meant to be done, I chickened out. I don't know how I thought they was going to put them in there. I thought Kittens was going to let them in or something. I don't know. But I already said that I'd have it done, and it's come back of a night time now. The night I meant to have it done. And I said, no. They're scraping a pen on the wall, making it into a knife. It's dirty, you know. And I said, no, I'll pay you anyway. Don't worry. Like, all of a sudden, 20 of them have jumped up, held me down, 3 on this arm, 3 on that arm, 3 on that leg, 3 on that leg. Now he's got me cock. He's pulled me cock as long as I could. The other one's pulled the skin up, so it's like a tent. Bang! Pen straight through me cock. Pushed the marble in there, dragged it up the skin. Then another one. Mate, it was like a balloon. It got infected. I thought it was going to fall off. I really did feel like it was going to fall off, but Sandra was right in with some other lady boys, and they got me antibiotics and saved me Corey, basically. I mean, a month later, I forgot about how much it hurt. I wanted more. This time I paid to have 3 done in one go. I don't know what was going on in my head. I was nuts. I was fucking nuts. And it was so sore. But it was so sore. When they told me, they said, if I accept this other drug was a class C or whatever, they told me if I accept, I'd get 15 years, but if I accepted on the first opportunity, I'd get 7.5 years.
Yeah.
But if I didn't go guilty and they found me guilty, then I'd get double the sentence, so I could end up doing 30 years. So I've come to terms with it. Just go guilty, I can do 7.5 years. By the time you get a few higher pay, it means forgiveness for the king's birthday and princess's stuff, I might have ended up doing 5 years, something like that. And I come to terms with it. I said, yeah, I'm going to go guilty. But the day I went to court, I just said, please, can I speak to the judge? They said, you can speak to her? I said, I've been learning a lot. Now, I mean, you can speak a language, but it's like if you walk into an hospital, start speaking about syringes or life support machines, you don't know them words. You can speak general, what's your name, where do you come from, what's your kid's name, what do you do for a living, what's your shoe size, but you start talking about prosecution, this, that. I mean, I had to learn the ins and outs of a duck's arse.
Yeah.
I sat in this room and I just learned and learned and learned. I don't think there was one word in the dictionary I didn't know. And I used to practice 18 hours a day. 18 hours a day. There wasn't one thing I didn't rehearse with Jan that they could say to me that I couldn't explain myself to. And I got to the court and I said, listen, I'm going to say guilty, but can I just explain myself? I said, I didn't come over here to molest the women. I didn't come over here to sell drugs. I said, I've been running a hotel. I said, my wife is a teacher. I've got two amazing children. I said, everything went wrong. I said, I just made the wrong decision. I said, I'm a better-faced lying. I said, I just wanted to make the money to get out of the country and get home. I said, look, my leg, I've probably got 2 weeks before my leg falls off. I've learnt my lesson. And I said to a Thai prayer, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa, and said this big long Thai prayer.
Yeah.
And she said, this man go home today. I said, what? Mm. She said, this man go home today. I went, what about the 7.5 years? She said, no. She said, you go home today. I think you learn already. You go home today. I just broke down in tears, man. I was so happy. But I didn't actually want to go home that day. It was a Friday. And I become so close with so many people in the jail. I really wanted to get the weekend out of the way, say goodbye to all my pals.
If it's Friday, you just want to go back and have another wank.
Yeah, it was Friday, yeah.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, it was Friday, I wanted to have another wank. But they wouldn't let me, and I was so gutted. And all the boys were already locked down now. It was like 5 o'clock. All the boys were already locked down, so I couldn't get to fucking see my Sandra.
No.
Couldn't get to see Jan. Actually, it makes me feel sick now to think about it. There was a rapist in the jail, and I always thought I'd kill a rapist if I met him. Yeah. But he was become one of my best friends in there. It's mad to think about it. I mean, if I met a rapist now, it'd be game over. But you're in a different country. He was loyal to me. He helped me when I had no food. He was a friend.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say goodbye to the 3 people I love the most.
Yeah.
I like to think he wasn't guilty of the rape. I mean, he used to say he was not guilty.
Yeah.
But he was certainly in there for it. He got 8 years. Now we've got to we've got out of prison. Now you have to wait to be. You stop at one prison, stop at the next prison, stop at the next prison, spend a couple of days there. It can take 3 months before you get back to Bangkok.
Right.
Or you can pay fast track, which was worked out about 500 or 600 quid, and then you can go the next morning. Right. So 2 guards take you, you're handcuffed, they take you in a truck and drop you off at the deportation prison in Bangkok. Now, I've just been 3 months banged up with this Russian guy, and the day I got released, his wife got released. And she said to me, Steve, she went, please, she went, pay for me to come. please pay for me to go with you. And I said, I haven't got the money. I literally had 10,000 baht left.
Yeah.
So I said to the guys, I said, couldn't she come with us? They said, no, 2 guards, 1 person, cannot, impossible. Ben pay me that, impossible. So anyway, I blackmailed them and they said, well, listen, we'll handcuff your arms to each other, your legs to each other, and you can both sit in the back of the truck. I haven't seen a female in like nearly a year, and now you handcuffed me to one for 13 hours. I'd like to say it was a long 13 hours, but it could have been. I've spent worse 13 hours. They kept pulling over, saying, "Stop it!" I was like, "Up your bollocks!" And just kept. Kept having a laugh really in the back of the old field car, and we got to the Bangkok deportation prison, and I promised her that I'd get the money together to get her out, and they put me in a room with about 200 pirates, and I remember thinking, for fuck's sake, all these Somalians, and I just sat there just rocking. I just thought, I'm going to play the nutty one again, make that I'm nuts, so they all leave me alone. I just sat there rocking for a night, and in the end, they took me out of there and they put me in with all the foreigners. And it was dangerous. That was the only time I ever felt frightened, the whole time. That was dangerous. Now, I walked in the room. Now, maximum, I'm going home in 3 days. All I've got to do is keep my mouth shut, sit down, behave, and I'm out there in 3 days. And this big Muslim guy had been in there for 13 years. If they was taking him back to his country, they were going to behead him. So he just become gangster of the prison. He must have weighed 18 stone, 21 stone maybe, a muscle. He went to me, sit there. I can't stand being told what to do. I looked at him, I thought, you're going home any day. I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down there and I'm going to do as I'm told. I sat down there, he kicked me, he went, not there. I thought, yeah, I'm having that, and I stood up and bang. Front push kicked him straight to the chest, hit him with the best right hand I've ever threw. His jaw didn't even move. It didn't even move, didn't budge an inch. Didn't even budge an inch. I just thought, you fucked up here. He went to me tonight, he went, you're dead. I thought, how have I just done all that time and not caused no grief? I say not caused no grief, I caused loads of grief, but grief I could control, you know? Why couldn't I just keep my mouth shut? And it's getting to like 4 o'clock and these guys plotting up there, about 6 of them, they're all waiting to do me. I've never been so frightened in my life. And there's I've seen some Germans that I was banged up with. I said, help me out, will you? They went, you're crazy, mate. I said, that geezer runs the jail, mate. He said, I don't even want to be talking to you. He went, get away from me. I went, come on, mate. He went, listen, the best thing you can do is just go and beg for your life and apologise. I walked up to him. I said, mate, I'm sorry. I said, what do you want me to do? I got on the floor. I said, I'll kiss your feet. He went, fuck off. And he half kicked me in the face. I knew I was dead. I went, what do you want me to do? I said, do you want me to suck your dick? I said, what do you want me to do? I knew I was dead. What do you want me to do? I said, I'll do anything. I'm sorry. He went, tonight you're dead. It got to about 10 to 5 and I'm thinking, fucking hell, what am I going to do? I didn't know whether to scream. I prayed. I just remember thinking I'm dead. At 5 to 5, my name came over the speaker. To Mr. Barkley, that was my name at the time. Someone's paid your bail, you're free to go. 5 to 5. And I've gone, you fucking wanker. You fucking Muslim, whatever. You know, I'm not racist one bit. But I called him everything under the sun. He'd go, everything. Imagine now that if the paperwork would have gone wrong and they'd have put me back in there, I didn't think about it at the time. I just called him everything. And I got out, wanker. Yeah. That was it. They took me to the airport, put me on the plane, and then that was it. I was free. They took me back to England, and I seriously thought in my head, I was going to get back and there was going to be like a parade there waiting for me or something. I really did think there was going to be a parade waiting there for me.
Yeah.
Not even one person bothered to come to the airport to pick me up. I had a pair of pink shorts, which Sandra made for me with her name on it, a white vest, and I just got out there and I just sat there and I just cried. And a lady came up to me and said, "Are you okay?" And I told her what's happened. She went, "Come with me, darling." I only knew one girl's phone number in my life, a travelling girl. And I rang her up. The only number I knew off the heart. She went, "Steve, I didn't know, mate. If I'd have known, I'd have been there to pick you up." She went, "How she got there?" She must have got there in 30 minutes. From Essex to Heathrow. She must have broke every speed limit according to man to get to me, but she was there in 30 minutes. And mate, I just give her the biggest cuddle and kiss, and I was covered in scabies, but she didn't care. She took me back to where the baby mum was, round her friend's house, and we shaved every hair off my body. Then I had to sit indoors for about 6 weeks while I was getting rid of the scabies. And about 6 weeks later, my mate Bill, he rang me up. He said, "Enough's enough now. Come on, I'm coming to get you. We're going out." And we went into Romford. And we was walking through Romford town, and it was the first, and I realised the nightmare was over. And I can remember seeing the lights and people, and I can remember thinking, I've done it, free. That's when I realised the nightmare was finally over.
Yeah.
And it has scarred me, you know what I mean? It has scarred me, and it has scarred my brain, you know. But
of course,
the only reason I'm doing this interview is not because I'm showing off about something. It's really not. I'm not showing off about it at all.
No.
I just want maybe someone to watch this to realise that a person is capable of changing.
Yeah.
You've got to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
You've got to hit rock bottom to change. A person is, no matter what they've done in the past, I ain't forgiven a paedophile, don't get me wrong. That's something I ain't forgiven. But anything else, a person should be given a second chance and is capable of changing. I mean, all I do now in the world is good.
Yeah.
That's all I do, is put happiness before my own. At the minute, I've just managed to. I'm back seeing my 17-year-old son. We trained at the gym for the first time. I haven't seen him in 5 years. That was last week. The baby's mum, who I was in Thailand with now, I've been speaking to my daughter on Facebook for the last couple of weeks. She rang me yesterday and said, "Now my boy wants to see me." So that's 3 out of 4 kids. My little daughter, who's 2.5, she's named Stevie Lee, named after me. I see her in a contact centre on every Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, social services are useless, but I'm going to keep trying, and I am going to get to where I've got. You know, in the last year, what I've achieved since I got back from Cambodia, because that's a complete other story. I haven't got the brain energy to get into that. But
that's part 2.
Yeah.
That's episode 2. Right. I've let you go. I've let you talk, but I had so many questions popping in my mind, but I didn't want to stop your flow.
Yeah.
My first one's got to be, are the marbles still in there?
Yeah, they are.
Are
they? They are.
When we're at the gym next, you've got to show me.
Yeah, the marbles. No, sorry, the marbles in there, in there. I'll show you now if you want to get out.
No, not yet. I'll show me, Dan.
Yeah, no, I've cut them all out now.
Oh, have you?
I've cut them all out, yeah. I took the last one out about 3 weeks ago.
Really?
I actually videoed it while I did it. It took 27 minutes to get the last one out. It like run into my skin. It was between the skin anyway, but it's actually gone into indented in. And
yeah.
I think you got 8 layers of skin, haven't you?
Don't know. You'll know now.
I couldn't get it out, and one night we had a couple of laughs, whatever, and we cut it out, and I was screaming. I wasn't screaming actually. I held my breath the whole time.
Oh, did you?
And then once it finally pops out, I was like, oh! I held it for like 20
give them birth.
Yeah, and
that was the first thing I had to clear that one up. The other thing, what was interesting, what you said was you've learned in life that to be happy, you only need food and water.
Yeah.
But, from my understanding, you miss one out. Because if you really go to look to being content and happy, you take yourself back to being like a baby.
Yeah.
So they need, food, water, but they need love.
Yeah,
that's human.
I should have said to survive, you only need food.
Yeah, but there's that thing as well, and to be happy, that goes back to Sandra. I'm interested with Sandra because, it's in the darkest times you need comfort.
Yeah,
and that comfort can just come, like you say, come in the form of affection, touch. And it's something I notice when I do my work. Obviously, the guys and me, no one's touched them for so long.
Yeah.
Just from me cutting their hair, and it means so much to them.
Yeah, it does.
And they're in a dark place. You can't be in a darker place than you were. So
yeah, I definitely ain't gay. If anything, I'd say I'm adaptable. But like I said, it wasn't even a gay. It wasn't even a gay thing. It wasn't. It was just that affection. I mean, some people might watch this and say you're weak. You spent less than a year in a jail and had to cuddle and kiss a geezer.
I wouldn't really take too much concern about that.
I don't give a crap what anyone thinks about me.
Well, I would have thought that, knowing you what I know now, I would have thought you don't give a fuck anyway. But I think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting that, I found it fascinating. I found your whole story fascinating. And it's the recovery.
Now I've just started my own business, the moringastore.com. It's a superfood. It comes in like 14 different products.
Yeah.
And I'm really working hard on trying to promote that. It's the ultimate superfood. I mean, there's nothing else like it on the planet for you. And I'm really working hard at doing that. And I'm doing a bit of personal training.
Yeah.
I'm not on benefits no more.
Yeah.
So I'm paying my own rent. I'm stable.
Yeah. And it's about rebuilding. You know
what I've achieved in a year since I've been out. I mean, I think I got out on the 6th of August last year. Right. What I've achieved in a year from nothing, I deserve a medal.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm so proud of myself. Proud of myself. How I've managed to stay clean, how I've managed to save up the money to start this new business, and I'm hoping in a year's time it's going to be life-changing money. I don't even care if it ain't. No, like I said, I'll be happy if I can just spoil the kids and take them on a few holidays. But the way I am, if I made a load of money, I'd only give it away anyway because that's what I like. I can't sit there and watch someone go without and me sit there and have it all. I'll get my happiness through others. I always have. Yeah. I'd like to solve world poverty. You know what I mean? That is what I'd like to do. I'd like to make this day and age. There shouldn't be children with flies in their eyes and walking 12 miles to get a bottle of water. There shouldn't be. No. There really shouldn't be. You know. I just would like to make a difference, and I will make a difference. Yeah. You know, for all the shit that I've done in my life and the pain I've caused people and the selfish things that I've done. Yeah. If I spend the next 40 years being good, maybe the gates of heaven will be opened. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I completely get you, mate. I understand completely how you feel. We don't get along. Yeah. So it's important to do what we can. And I can't undo any of the, as you can't, I can't undo any of the stuff I've done. All I can do is every day do my best, you know? Exactly. And, you know, and in the end, you do it long enough, you will be judged for what you've done. Yeah. For the better rather than for the worst. Yeah. But it's been a pleasure. I mean, I've been looking forward to it so much. I feel like I've learned even more about it now. And it's I've got to process it now. The next, I know it's going to come out all week long now. I'm going to be, it's going to keep coming in mind because the way you spoke about it, I felt like I was living it with you, you know, for that hour. But I'm looking forward to see you down the gym again. You can show me your fella. So we don't want it now. No, you're fine. Yeah. You're fine because it is going to go on YouTube. But really best of luck with everything. Yeah. I know I'll be seeing you a lot in the future. And what we'll do at the end of it, we'll share all the links that we can, and we you know for your new business and everything. Yeah. And no, I really appreciate your time coming on. Brilliant. I'm part for a fag, so we can call it right now. You deserve a fag after that one. Yeah, mate, I feel like my head's going to blow up, so.